for this video, we will be talking about a different kind of travel, and that is time travel. For everyone out there who doesn't believe in traveling through time, what if we tell you that traveling to the future is actually 100% possible? And Elon Musk is the person to thank for. So without further ado, let's jump right into the world of traveling through time. In 2015, Elon Musk said that the thought of going back in time fascinated him, and that it was an interesting idea to look into. He also said that he wished he could go back in time to fix things he did or didn't do in the past, which he now regrets. But Musk has also been honest about how hard time travel is and what it can't do. Now fast forward to 2016, he said that we won't be able to move through time until we can go faster than the speed of light. But even if we could do this, we would run into conflicts and other problems that would make time travel impossible. But here's the thing, the time paradoxes he talked about can only happen if we go back in time. But what will happen next? What would happen if you went to the future? What if I told you that the future I'm talking about is linked to the past, and the past is connected to the future? Now things start to get more intriguing. Keep watching until the end because we're going to discuss an analogy. But before you can understand the analogy, you need to know about various theories about how to move through time. Even though time travel is often shown in different ways in pop culture, there are a number of theories that try to explain how it could work in real life. Some of these ideas are just guesses and assumptions, while others are based on well-known scientific principles. Some people have said that there are other universes and timelines, while others have said that wormholes or faster-than-light travel could be used to move through time. Even though they are different, all of these ideas try to figure out what it would be like to go back and forth through time. Number 1, we have multiple universe theory. This theory is often linked to the idea of the multiverse, in which our world is just one of an infinite number of parallel universes. This theory says that time travel is possible, and that every time someone changes the past, they create a new parallel world that splits off from the original world. In science fiction stories, this theory is often used to look at the idea of different worlds. Number 2, the fixed timeline theory. People often connect this theory to the idea of a predestination paradox. This idea says that you cannot go back in time because everything that happened in the past is already done and can't be changed. At number 3, the dynamic timeline theory. Any effort to change the past will fail in the end because the actions of the time travelers will have already been taken into account. Now this theory, which is opposite from the fixed timeline theory, claims that it is possible to travel through time, and that any changes to the past will produce a new timeline that is different from the original timeline. This idea is often shown in science fiction stories in which people go back in time and accidentally change the past. Lastly, we have time dilation theory. This idea says that you can go back in time if you move at very fast speeds. The theory of relativity says that as an object moves closer to the speed of light, time seems to move more slowly for that object. This means that a person moving close to the speed of light could experience time more slowly than someone who is standing still. This would give them the ability to move through time. Some people say that it has been tested in the real world, while others say that it isn't very useful because it can't be used to go back in time. Now to understand the experiment, let's step into the world of Elon Musk and his new rocket, a machine that holds the answer to this mystery. Let's say the rocket can move at 90% of the speed of light, which is equal to 270 million meters per second. Now think about what would happen if Elon Musk had two exact twins. He puts one of his babies on the rocket and sends it into space to test this idea. After going straight for 5 years, the rocket turns around and comes back to Earth. This takes another 5 years, even though it is still going at its fastest speed. When the rocket came back from space, it showed something amazing and hard to explain. Elon finds that the baby he sent on the rocket has only aged 10 years when the rocket lands. The child who stayed on Earth, however, is already 23 years old. This strange thing happens because of time dilation, a well-known theory of physics that says time moves more slowly for things that are moving fast. You see, sometimes the world of physics is even stranger than our wildest dreams. This example explains everything. So you might ask, how would you build a rocket that goes faster than light? People have always found a way to get over barriers. Think about how fast sound travels. It was a pretty big deal to go faster than the speed of sound. In 1947, people did something that was a big step forward and changed the past of flying for good. They went faster than the speed of sound, which was thought to be impossible at the time. So this opened up new opportunities for commercial and military aircraft. This helped make it possible to build supersonic planes like the famous Concorde, which took to the skies in the 1970s and changed the way people traveled by air with its speed and comfort. Now I know that sound is nothing compared to the speed of light, but we did beat it, didn't we? But if we can't beat the speed of light, what if we have something else that can be used instead? You and I both know that Elon Musk is a very strong-willed and determined guy. What do you know? He came up with a way for that to happen. Musk has not given up on the idea of time travel, even though it is hard. In fact, he has even given some ideas for how it could be done. One idea is the warp drive. It would make a bubble around the rocket and let it go faster than the speed of light. Now, even though this is a much crazy idea, it might actually work. Miguel Alcubierre's groundbreaking work has given the idea of warp drive a fresher perspective. Before, it was thought that warp drive only existed in science fiction. In 1994, he wrote a paper that showed how this type of journey, which seemed impossible, could be done within the rules of general relativity. Warp travel could be made possible by making a warp bubble in which space is squeezed in front of the ship and stretched out behind it. There is a catch though. For a warp bubble to be made, you would need a huge amount of negative mass or energy, which is still a hard-to-grasp idea in physics. Even though this is a problem, the idea of warp drive has sparked the minds of both scientists and science fiction fans, bringing us closer to a time when space and time won't stop us from exploring and learning. The warp drive idea became so popular that recent news stories have actually revealed that a team of top scientists at NASA has been working on a warp drive, which would let spacecraft travel at speeds that were thought to be impossible before. With this new technology, the dream of traveling faraway galaxies and finding new worlds could soon become a reality. The details of how the warp drives were made and how they were used are still unknown. Now, who knows what kinds of breakthroughs and finds are still to come? If you could go back in time, what would you do? What historical event or time would you like to see or change? Share your thoughts with us down below.